Hey guys, welcome into 3 High Safety. Sam Monson here with Seth and Bruce. Guys, let's talk Thursday Night Football. What is your biggest takeaway from last night's game between the Browns and the Bengals, Seth?
Honestly, my biggest takeaway, and I feel like I should have known this before, but the Bengals just don't have a very good roster. So you put who I think is a pretty good quarterback already in Joe Burrow there, but there's just not enough around him. AJ Green did not look like the AJ Green that we've seen in the past. Hopefully he gets through some of the injury problems that he's had for the past couple of years and gets back to the AJ Green that we know and love. But other than that, there's really not a lot of players on this team. Jonah Williams looked okay, but the rest of the O-line was not very good. And it's making me sad as a big Joe Burrow fan that he can't go out there and express himself the way I'd like to see him express himself.
No, that's a good point. I mean, but I took away that Burrow's a stud. I mean, to see the discipline in this offense already and how they orchestrate the 2-minute drives and just the sense of urgency, and from a young rookie quarterback with no offseason and no preseasons, to watch how he's played these first 2 games, those have been impressive. I mean, definitely more room to work and he could get better. You know, AJ Green, he had him on the first opening play of the game, leave it in field, give your guy a chance. It would have been a spectacular play, catch if AJ pulled it down. But I think Burrow's going to be a stud. You know, that was fun to watch. And I think with Baker Mayfield, that's a game he has to play. Play action pass, bootlegs, get him outside the pocket, move him around more, and then get OBJ on double moves like they did. And then the 2-headed monster with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb can go a long way this year. But I think if you're throwing the ball 23, 25 times with Baker Mayfield and the run's going, I think that worked well.
Yeah, I don't know how you can come out of that game and the big takeaway not be that, Baker Mayfield is at least still salvageable. Like what we saw from Baker in college and in his rookie season, that's still there somewhere. Like it might have gotten a little bit corroded and, there's it dinged up and messed up, but it's still there. You can still piece that back together. And we saw that against the Bengals. The Ravens game was a disaster. Nothing went well. He was doing all the bad things that he's been doing throughout his career. But yesterday he fixed a lot of it. He was still, you could tell that sometimes he was sort of fighting the urge to run away from the clean pocket, but just about held himself back in there and delivered the pass anyway. But the fact that is still there, that when he's set in the pocket, he's still able to deliver an accurate football, make some big plays. The interception at the end was not good, but understandable. You see that kind of play from quarterbacks quite a lot. I thought that was an encouraging game, and at least the signs are there that guy can still be a good quarterback.
All right, staying in the AFC, we have another big AFC showdown this week between Houston and Baltimore. Houston looking to avoid that steep 0-2 hole that they could find themselves in after week 2. What do you think about this game coming up, Bruce?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point because 0-2 to start the season, it feels like you're 0-10. I mean, you just need to get that first win. Deshaun Watson last week didn't play as bad as people think. 35% pressure rate. That has to get better. Too much miscommunications up front by the offensive line. He has to be more consistent. He'll come out, play 6 really good games, and then drop down for 3. Let's see more consistency from Deshaun Watson. But you look at the other side, man, who is playing with more confidence than the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson? He started off where he left off last year, MVP caliber play, 90.9 overall grade for us. The dude's a baller. I mean, so to me, I can't see anyone beating the Ravens anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree. To me, the big matchup is what that Baltimore defense is going to do to Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans offense. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs gave them problems in the first game, and the Chiefs don't have the defense or the pass rush ability that the Ravens do. They might have better individual players, but the Ravens are blitzing their guys 58% of the time this season, just like last year. They're the most blitz-happy team in the NFL, and Watson doesn't yet have that comfort level in the face of the blitz without Nuke Hopkins there. Before, when you threw blitzers at him, it didn't matter because he knew he could just heave it up to Nuke, and there was a pretty good chance he'd come down with the football. Now, he doesn't have an outlet yet. He hasn't figured out where to go with the football at all times. So I don't know if that Houston offense is going to be able to keep its head above water against what the Ravens can throw at them defensively.
Yeah, and I'll continue with our issues with the Houston Texans, because we kind of know what we're going to get this season already just after 1 week from Baltimore. It's probably going to be really good, but we just don't know what we're getting from the Texans. We had them as a bottom 5 after week 1, bottom 5 pass blocking team. So that's putting a lot of pressure for Watson. And he just, like you said, he just doesn't have that player that he can rely on. I think the Texans have this unbelievable great group of complementary receivers, but that doesn't work if you don't have that big X receiver who can run all these intermediate in-breaking, out-breaking routes, catch back shoulders like we saw Will Fuller drop one the other week. So what are we going to get from Houston? Like, we just don't know where they are in their development with these players they have there. You'd like to see more play action shots. I know that's not something that Bill O'Brien likes to do, but you'd like to see more deep play action shots because, again, well, let's use our speed like Will Fuller and now Brandon Cooks. Like, let's get the safeties off and let's hit a crossing route, let's hit a post, something like that. So we don't know what we're going to get from Houston this week.
No, Seth, that's a good point, man. Use that speed. Let Deshaun Watson get after a little bit and throw the ball downfield. But talking about other fascinating matchups, New England in Seattle, Bill Belichick praising Russell Wilson this week. What do you guys think about that matchup?
I feel like we slipped into Stranger Things. Like, this is the upside down. Suddenly the Seahawks are a pass-happy attack and the Patriots are the run-heavy offense that's going to try and establish it all day long. This is backwards. It's supposed to be the other way around. That to me is the interesting thing, right? I don't know that either of those two teams want to run their week 1 game plan every single week. And actually, I think both of them might try and kind of push back in the other direction. Like, the Seahawks have, I think, a pretty good defense to try and match up with the run game, but I don't know that their secondary, the defensive backs on the outside, can hold up as well. So I think the Patriots might try and pivot back towards more passing. And then, Pete Carroll has already been talking about how he regrets how much they let Russ cook week 1. Man, we wanted to establish the run harder, but Russ was just completing every pass, so we couldn't take it out of his hands. They're going to come out there and just feed Chris Carson to start this game.
Yeah, and I think he'll be nervous because there's a big difference between the Atlanta Falcons secondary and the New England Patriots secondary. Right. So, but with that said, Russell Wilson versus man coverage versus cover 1 over the past 2 seasons plus week 1 last week, 4th highest grade. And what he does so well is that he's able, this is what he does in general, but 4th highest time to throw against man coverage. So he's breaking the pocket, he's waiting, and now you can, against man coverage, if you wait, or if you're a DB, you don't want to have to cover for 3 seconds, right? In man coverage. So Russell Wilson does that to teams all the time. Love to see it this week against one of the best man coverage teams that we've really seen, at least last year, that we've seen in a long time. So that for me is such a fascinating matchup, and I hope they let him cook again.
Hey, same here, man. Russell Wilson is so fun to watch, and you talk about him just buying time, and also him against pressure. His pressure grade last week, 91.5, 134 yards, 2 big-time throws. The dude's just amazing. He's so fun to watch. But I love the fact, too, of the chip on the shoulder with the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick, Cam Newton. It's a different swag about them this year. Josh McDaniels and that offense. You're right, Sam. They might pivot back to the pass. You never know what to expect because with Josh McDaniels, every game plan is different and it's strategic to who he's playing. I can't wait to watch, but I can't bet against Russell Wilson, man. I'm going Seahawks.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.